Hey everyone, welcome to Encore, and today we're going to talk more about blushing. Okay, so the first demonstration I'm going to show you is applying blush so you can get a little bit more pop on your cheekbones, okay? And you're going to need two different shades of blushes. So you're going to need a dark tone and then a lighter tone. So in this demo, I'm just going to use my blush palette right here. And I'm going to use this color right over here. And then I'm going to use this light color right here. Okay, so for the dark color, I'm just going to use my blush brush, and this is the MAC 116. All right, so the MAC 116. I'm going to use the dark color first. All right, and basically I'm going to use the dark blush to contour underneath my cheekbone. All right, so I'm just going to place that right there. Again, this is a blush. This is not a contouring powder. Okay. Just going to apply it right underneath my cheekbone. Okay, there you go, so you can see. All right, and then I'm going to use the light color, and I'm going to put it right on top. Okay, I'm just going to swirl in between so that way this color and that color match. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more of the dark right here to give it a little bit more of a contour. Okay, so there you have it, nice and subtle, but yet it's giving you a little bit more pop on your cheekbone, okay, right here. Alright, so by applying a darker shade of blush right underneath your cheekbone, and then applying a lighter blush, okay, you can still see that nice subtle pink. It'll give you a little bit more pop to your cheekbone and still color on your skin. Alright, so darker on the bottom, lighter on the top, blend well right where it meets, and therefore it's going to give you a nice pop to your cheekbone. Okay, so on this side right here, I kind of lightly just applied a little bit of contouring powder. Alright, right there, you can see. Alright, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply blush, alright, right between the contoured area and the highlighted area, okay, and here I used a little bit of a skin highlighter, okay, it's not a powder highlighter, but it's like a liquid highlighting product, alright, so if you guys have not seen my contouring and highlighting cheekbones, definitely watch that so that you know where to place, and many of you asked, where do you put the blush if you contour and highlight? Alright, so in this demonstration I'm just going to show that. So I'm just going to apply this a little bit more kind of like a rusty orangey color, and where the contour and the highlight meets, you want to apply the blush right in between, okay, and then brush upwards towards the hairline. Okay, so you still want to see the highlighted part right here. You want to see the blush right there. And then you still want to see that nice contour you did, okay? And the trick is to make sure there's no harsh line, okay? And to do that, you're going to need your blush brush and some powder. The powder is going to soften those harsh lines if you have any. So I'm just going to do it right there. And then same thing with the bottom to make sure the line blends with the contoured area. Okay, and you don't want to lose the effect of all three. So you still want to see this highlighted area, the blush, and then the contour. Okay, so there you have it. As you can see, you can still see the highlight, you can see the blush color, and then you can see the contour still underneath that. Okay, another way of blushing is achieving that frostbitten look. Okay, and to do that, you're going to need a darker shade of blush. Alright, and you're going to want to apply it right at the apple of the cheek, blending it upwards. Okay, I'm blending it closer to the eye. And then you want to swipe this above the nose. Okay, especially in the winter, you naturally get that frostbite look, alright? And you want to drag that blush up and over the nose. Okay, just like that. And then work on the other side. Again, up and over the nose. Alright, and there you go. So you have that nice frostbitten look, okay? And it looks really natural. It looks like you're skiing in a ski resort and you get that nice red, you know, just kind of like that soft, subtle look right in here. Okay, so that's another way that you can use a blush. Okay, next you can achieve a nice, soft, subtle, kind of like that blushing bride look or that blushing maiden look, okay? And the trick to that is using a little bit more of a blush in the pink tone. And for this demo, I'm kind of going to use a nice hot pinkish color, a little bit of a blue undertone. And this is where you smile and you try to concentrate, just getting that blush right in the apple of the cheeks. Okay, and then using some translucent powder, you're going to want to soften the edges and work that upwards. Okay, so you get just a nice subtle like blushing, you know, kind of like shy and embarrassed at the same time look. All right. Just like that. So just concentrate just right on the top of the cheekbone. Okay, right in the apple of the cheeks. Okay, and finally I'm going to demonstrate a bohemian style, a little bit more on the theatrical side. If you guys remember the music video Moulin Rouge, remember Christina Aguilera's blush that kind of went down to a C, and that's a little bit more theatrical and more like, yeah, like that bohemian inspired look, okay? And all you're going to need to do, basically, is you're going to start right at the very top of the cheekbone. Okay, just like that. Okay, and take that up to the temple and just above the brow, up to almost like where your brow arches. Okay, so just take it up there. Okay, so you get that nice C, almost like a crescent moon. Okay, and then using a lighter color blush, we're just going to soften the edges so that it's a little bit more soft focus. Then just brush it downwards. When you get to the forehead, you want to brush upwards, soften the edges. And there you have it. So you get a little bit more of a different kind of flair, a little bit more theatrical, yet bohemian inspired. Okay, now picking blush tones, guys, it's one of those products that you're going to have to try and see how it looks on your skin, because sometimes, and most of the time, it's going to look different on the packaging, on the container, than how it's going to go on your skin. You know, it might look nice and pretty and pink on the packaging, but once you apply it on your skin, it looks more like purpley. Alright, so you're going to have to try them on. Don't be afraid to try them on. It's just makeup. You can easily wipe it off. So thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, hopefully you guys learned something today. And join me again soon. Bye!